Good evening, my beloved viewers. Good evening, Eastern youth. Good evening, my fellow Biafrans all over the world. If you look at my appearance this evening, you will understand that today's science is a different one. You will understand that today's message is important. You will understand there is reason for this appearance before you this evening. So I want you to pay very much attention and listen. Get your pen and paper to write down an important point for yourself, point for your research, because we are about to hit the nail this evening about religion, about mesmerisms. Men and women may be deceived by the craftiness and adversaries of the spirit of darkness that is engulfing the world today. But our responsibility as messengers is to see that the adversaries of this darkness do not deceive us with their Christian science, with their hypnotisms, with their animal magnetisms, and with all forms of mesmerisms and spiritualisms that resort to all kinds of man-made demonisms. We want to see a way to set you free from them. We are here as messengers to set the world free from it. That brings us about today's discussion. If you look at my hand or before this table, what you will see is Biafra powder and block. This is a chalk. It can be called a chalk. It can be called anything, but then is Biafra white powder. This is out of what it has been made from. In our language, it is called nzu. Nzu omuwa, nzu omumu. It's of different shapes. It's of different sizes. But nzu is nzu. And they are for different assignments and duties. You can see before my eyes, a sign of it is there. A sign of it is there. In my hand, the sign of it is there. This is going to form the basis of our discussion. How, who, where, and what. I bring to you a topic which I called Teraphim. What is this Teraphim? Teraphim, I mean, is spelled T-E-R-A-P-H-I-M. Teraphim. This is a special kind of image in our cultural worship, in our cultural application. And the people which you see in this line of imagery work dress the way I look when you meet them in their altars. We call them Petrarca masters, or Petrarca fathers, or Petrarca doctors, or Petrarca native doctors as the case may be, or Petrarca priests. These Petrarchs are fathers. During the Petrarchal time, in the ancient time, the way these men approached the God, trying to worship this God, is what we are about to discuss today, the image. We have thought about the image of the candle wax. We have thought about the image of the wood. We have thought about the image of the ceramics, which is what Roman Catholic use. They also use wood. we talk about the image of gold and silver. They are all fall under ceramics production. We talk about baby dolls. Those ceramic images is more seen in Roman Catholic churches. Okay. Now, this image we are going to discuss today is the image that look like a man, is the image of a man and a woman. When you bought this image, you would think it's a human being. It's been molded with red clay, ajoro, red clay, red soil, ajoro. After this image is molded, there is no artificial thing added other than the earth, because that sand is the earth. There is no cement added. It's not a sculpture design that requires any other artificial addition. The natural earth, and maybe to form the bones of the image, they use bamboo sticks or Indian bamboo sticks to make it sit. It's usually sitting. Whenever you see that image, look at the way I dress. Whenever you see that image, or whenever you meet those patriarchal masters that are native doctors, as we call them native doctors, but they are priests, they are fathers, they possess a key and authority. Good. Now when you meet them, that image will be like what I am looking like right now. You will not see the leg. Now they will mold it as the garment he's wearing covers the leg, but you will see the foot. That's the way such images are. And sometimes their two hands are always on top of their knee cap here, like this. It's either a woman or a man. In some cases, you see the man and the woman molded together. Now, the teeth of the image will be fixed. It will not be an image that you mold and paint. No. Try to reason the image I'm talking about. Molded with red is always molded with clear. Now, they will fix teeth to it. They will also fix eye to it. It's not an image after molding, just they have their eye, has mouth, with a sign of mouth. No. You will see that this one is molded with teeth. They fix teeth in it as if it looks like one demonic witch or the other. The way they mold it. It looks very fearful. And not just fearful, it has human control. When you see such image, you thought first as a human being. But when you look at it keenly, it's not a human being. It's not a sculpture, it's an act. It's an art. It's a molded art. So they fix the eye, they fix the mouth, they fix the teeth. When you look at it, you know that, but this is a molded thing, but you are seeing teeth, you are seeing eye. Those teeth and eye is not paint. They didn't paint the mouth, they didn't paint the eye to make you see that this is eye, no. But they fixed it proper as a human eye. Good. Those kind of images. That is the image we are going to discuss today. And that image is the image of the patriarchal order. It is noteworthy to state that in the act of sacrifices, it is being resolved into three places. Number one, atonement sacrifice. Number two, sanctification sacrifice. Number three, fellowship sacrifice. This is the three divisions of sacrifice. So if you say that the sacrifice on the cross of Calvary is all and all of Jesus Christ, which one did it cover? They said that one is atonement. They didn't say it's sanctification. They did not say it's fellowship. They said that one that he did there is atonement. So what are we atoning? What have we atoned? Or what do we hope to atone in that sacrifice of Christ on the cross of Calvary? We all was told by the church that what we hope to atone for is only our sin. No, it's a lie. It's not just the sin, our sin only. So in redeeming man, there is a lot that is involved in redeeming man. Someone asked me a question about the baptism for the dead in the temple. Now I'm going to reveal it, how it is done. This image is of the size and form of a man or woman. Let us go to the scriptures and let us read so we can be able to understand what I mean. First Psalm chapter 19. Go to First Psalm. First Psalm. Is Samuel. In this order of sacrifices, we discussed sacrifice in our last topic. Talk about sacrifice, and we are running up today with it, so that we can understand what this thing stands for, what they are. So when you meet these native doctors in this gather, you should know what they stand for, who they are. This type of native doctors I'm going to discuss today are the Petrarca fathers. They possess the power and the authority of the ancient order. Let it also be noteworthy that the sin always precedes the burnt, and the burnt the peace offering. Thus, the order of the symbolizing sacrifices was established. Apart from that, the word of mixture used frequently of the gift and man-made offerings, especially that denotes unbloody or meal offerings. Especially that denotes unbloody or meat offerings. Now, unbloody offering is the offerings of food. We are not sacrificing animal now. It's unbloody. And now, who is that person that will eat the unbloody sacrifice? Is he thrown in the water? Is he thrown in the ocean? That is the work of the Petrarch. Because he that kills the meat is not the same person that will give the food. Because they are of different gather. What you don't know, you don't know. What you are not permitted to do, you cannot do. That is the order of this gospel. So because of that, because the men of the world do not know, they believe that since they don't have the power of this line, maybe we leave them move. Make the Kwela amim this way they go. Make we live this way where they keep person. If you never reach, you never reach. Unlike anybody that go to school 2 years, come out, you carry Bible saying be pastor. But it's not like that in this line. Because before you reach this level, now you go pass the process proper. But to be a pastor, it doesn't require anything. Go and carry Bible and you're okay, you'll be a pastor. And you start shouting in one pulpit to the other. Okay, chapter 19, verse 13. And Michael took an image and laid it in the bed and put a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster and covered it with a cloth. And when Saul sent messengers to take David, she said, he is sick. First Psalm. Sorry. I'm doing another portion for you. Let me get the passage. Imagery. These images I mentioned is of a Petrarchal use when it has to do with the baptism for the dead, when it has to do with the unbloody offering of meal and wheat. For example, I am bringing Gary to the church for an offering and soup. I prepared Gary, a very well bowl of soup. I prepared it, and then after cooking a nice soup, I made 1 plate of eba. I hope you understand what in the eba. I made one plate of eba. Then after the eba, I now bring it to the, say this is what I'm going to use for my offering. How am I going to offer that bread, that food that I cook? Am I going to offer it by giving to people to eat? Who am I going to offer it to? That symbol of the sacrifice is not of idol worshipping. It is, that image is consecrated to represent the man and the woman ancestor for transmission of coexistence. Do you understand what I explained there? When a man is said to have died and have not received his ordinances as required, or did not live up to the obligation of his ordinances, and his children wish to perform a rite for him on his behalf in proxy, then such patriarchal fathers are being located because they have that image. On that note, people begin to create image in their temples to pay sacrifices to. But that is not the reason for the imagery sacrifice in our culture. You can find that on the patriarchal time from Genesis chapter 1, from Genesis chapter 31. You can find that in the book of the Judges chapter 17. You can find that in Hosea chapter 3. You can find that in Zechariah chapter 10. In that time of the patriarchal order, it is in worship and also for a magical purposes, both in Israel and in Babylon. You see what sort of image causes. This image also by the patriarchs use it for magic, and they also use it as a form of worship. But the major area or the purpose for which I am discussing today in our culture, not in the culture of Israel, not in the culture of Babylon, but in the culture of the Igbo man, in the culture of the Easterner, it is being used. Maybe when you come across the temple and say they are idol worshippers, no. Igbo man culture is not an idol worshipper. Igbo man culture is far, far beyond African traditional religion. Igbo man culture is a religion of light and truth. Igbo man culture is the beginning and the mother of all religion all over the world. And that is what we are explaining. It is not necessarily evil, but a pattern of attempt of worship of the true principle. That pattern is also in the animaria. In the animaria meaning of the sacrifices as mentioned in Revelation chapter 4, and as well as in the 7 seals episode as mentioned in Revelation chapter 5. But before I come to that, I have to let you understand that the necessity for the image is not actually worshipping the image, but transmitting the image as an ancestral existence. How do I mean? If my father is Bangu Bangu and he has died for 1,000 years ago, and it is in the record or a dream have come that Bangu Bangu have not rested because he has not fulfilled his obligation. He is still hanging. He has not gone to rest yet. That his siblings should assist him on earth so he can go to rest. Most of us have such problems in our villages where the souls of our dead ones have no rest. And there's no way we can perform these rites. At the end of the day, it brings about death, untimely death in our different homes, in our different families. It's happening. So many of us have that problem, but I don't know how to resolve it. This is the key now. Those patriarchal orders, this part of the worship is found in the north wing of the temple, where you bring the rites of the passage of an ancestor and perform it upon that statue. There, the spirit of the dead will be invoked to dwell in that statue, to receive that rite and depart. That is what today they have turned to doctrine of the baptism for the dead. Did you understand it now? That it all started from us. So, because the baptism did not say we must be washed. It said, first of all, you will be washed with the blood of the lamb. Now, this man is dead. How can he be washed with the blood of the lamb when he is not there? Then comes the patriarchal power of the elders. This is the way they dress. Those in that court, it is called the patriarchal order. The patriarchal order. The patriarchal white order of the elders. The elders in Charion. They are in Charion. It's an authority. It is not every native doctor that does it. And there is not even a native doctor that does it. But you know, everybody that into a cultural representation of what we do is automatically a native doctor. Now, I am a priest. I'm a bishop. From bishop, I now come into this order and my culture. Does my priesthood, they don't take them away in no laws? Or the Bible, the Bible knowledge I have lost, it disappear? No, it didn't disappear. I am still what I am. I'm only adding more knowledge this way. So that one did not lose. It's still in me. I am still what I have trained myself to be. So let us not be deceived. Let us stop this deceit that is engulfing the environment. Okay. Now, what you are qualified to do is what you can do. What you are not qualified to do, you cannot do it. Sometimes, these images, some of them, the men, is being made as if he's a seated king on a throne. That one made for as a king is for the work of the kings. Another one will be made as a queen is for the work of the queens. Then this other one that is naturally made like a native man seated down with his wrapper, as I put, it can be white wrapper, it can be colored wrapper, George, you know, the woman own is there. That doesn't mean these images are being worshipped. No, these images are being used for transmissions. And they are not being made of clay, neither of, they are not being made of wax, neither of wood, nor of ceramics, nor any form of gold. They are made purely with clay. And that clay, where you see them are, they are there. Rain cannot spoil it. Sun cannot spoil it. They ever remain dreadful, looking fearful, sometimes looking interesting. When you look at them seriously, it looks as if the eye is turning. You see, the eye moved. You know, that is one of the signs that makes it for them to know that the spirit invoked has entered. The dead, the called, have entered. From that, the knights, now which is the Red Cross, the Red Templars, the ritual men of the Roman Catholic, these are the knights. They practice the ritual of Roman Catholic, while the Pope them sing the praise on the altar. But the knights, they do the rituals in their chambers. So the knight introduced mirror. It's from that doctrine, it's from this principle and explaining that this mirror came out. Where mirror technology came out, because all these things are sciences, spiritual sciences. From this, what I'm explaining, they brought out mirror science, and the mirror science is the property of the knights. It's not our culture; it is a borrowed culture. All right. When that name of my deceased ancestor is being placed upon the image, They write it, they hang it upon the image. If it's a man, they hang it on the image of the man. If it's a king, they hang it on the image of the king there. If it's a queen, the same way, the name will be hung there. And then nobody will be seated. Nobody is, I'm not the one to go there because I'm living. It's the dead now. Now we use the statue to transmit the dead in appearance. Perform the ordinance, he has received it over there. The next day, somebody will give a message that he has been granted access for rest. That is the mystery. It is only of the patriarchal power. And when you see such, it is not that they are being worshipped, no. And in such court or in such order in the temple, if I want to speak to my dead father in the grave, I am not seeing him, he is not seeing me. I go to the patriarch and approach that image, place the name of my father there and call him. Whatever thing I speak there, he will hear me. Mystery, transmission. It says transmission of the German origin. What do you mean by German? Not Germany. When we say origin, it's not from the gem origin. Transmission from the gem origin. According to the Universalist Necromancer, the order of the elder centurion, the mystery of all mysteries. I will stop there. So this is that kind of image in our culture that if you see it, you should know the work of it. And if I come there and play whatever thing I offer in the image for my father will receive it. If you cannot do that there, you can always go to your father's grave to call him. He will also hear you. But then in ordinance, this is what is stipulated. I have given you areas you read in your scriptures for what I'm explaining. Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 21. But read the whole Ezekiel of 21. In my studies, I don't believe in verse and chapters. I study the reason why the information is here, which people are giving this information, what are they giving information to achieve from. And upon those researches, you get the truth of the whole matter. We proceed. In the event of, for example, your brother died in America, and they said he will be brought home, and there is no money to bring him home, and he must have to be buried. His spirit, his body will not be in America. We have done it before. Bury him in America. After the ordinance there, here, go and assume that graveyard you bury him. You will not see his body there. Transmission. It will be transmitted over here. And how is that done? Upon this image, a ram will be brought. And because it is the heart that we use to call the dead. Do you understand it? That's the transmission now. Upon this image, the heart will be removed alive. And the body transmitted. You bury him in USO. It's lying in state in the ground of the USO. But the place you gave him here and place that ordinance is where you dig and see his body. You can't see it in the US. Those powers are no longer here. Those are of the patriarchal order. That is what the high prince can do. That is why I'm here. We are restoring all things. You don't have the money to fly the dead body from America to Nigeria to bury. Bury him there, no problem. But come and perform your ordinance. Give us a mark, a place where you want him be laid. Then you will see his dead body laid there inside the ground. Dig it, you find him. The mystery of all mysteries. From this, if the dead can be redeemed, if atonement can be done for the dead, what about the living? And it's only possible through blood sacrifice. It is not witchcraft. It is an order. It is called Petrarca order. It's practiced only by the elders. It's a cult only the elders belong to. Only elders. They are just like Petrarchs. The fathers who have reached that order. And it is when you have done the nativity priest until you become an old man and have fulfilled your ascension order. And then you will be joining the white order of the elders, the Petrarchs. You will be joining them. When you join the elders in that order, they will now reveal unto you what to make them the elders. It's a chariot. It's a circle of authority. That is the work these seals then perform. But today, these powers are not here. These authorities are not here. These are things we will restore in our temple. It is not individually given for money. If we release it to the people who begin to make money with it as a power they possess. No, but it's a right unto a people, not unto an individual authority. So in the temple, those things will be restored. And then you see the high prince is not by mouth. A lot is involved. So many things are involved. It's not things we come on the media to share. So when you see such images, those images, they are not molded with iron. In the molding, they didn't put iron inside to stand it. It's completely clear. And if there is anything inside to stand it, it will be bamboo tree, Indian bamboo stick, the small ones to form the iron that will hold it, sit proper, and then they mold it, give it the design of a man, a woman, a queen, a king sitting down. In that court is always at the north corner of the temple. North corner of the temple. Right? Good. The northeast is where the temple of covenant lies, in the temple. So these are ceremonials that the temple help us to come into. Okay, let us come down to Igbo language in our culture. If my father died, I don't have money to bury him, and he has been buried, and Omunna, I didn't have anything to give Omunna, I go to temple and help him find his passage to rest. That same rite I will perform. I go to temple and perform it, and he will receive it. That is the work of the temple in our culture. So it's deep. If we begin to explain it, it is something that we cannot be able to talk with mouths. That is why I want you to be a part and parcel of what Eastern Youth is doing, so that you can understand what we are here for. We are here to restore the path of our elders. We are here to restore the path of our culture. We are here to teach you the truth, the good truth, and nothing but the truth. We are not here because we want to be here. We are here because AMADIOHA have said we will be here to pass this message to you. We are the royal messengers, and we will always be here to bring you every message that has to do to your salvation. This is the well-being of mankind has been approached tomorrow. I will bring you again the animaniacs involved, according to the revelation that have been given to ancient apostles and prophets that have lived before us. I did not begin this work, neither will this work stop in me. It will not stop, it will continue. When you see them, this substance will be squeezed into powder, grinded into powder. That image has always been bathed with this powder. When you get and find such people, they are not image worshippers. They are not idol worshippers. Those are the Petrarchs. And it's rare to find them now. It's very rare to find them. Because when they die, rain and water will spoil the image. It will because it's a clay. It will decay and vanish away. So who taught you that line? No, nobody taught you. So it's difficult to find that line unless you are part of the elders. And that line is what High Prince have restored. I wish you well. I want you to follow up our page. We have concluded the processes or any teaching that has to do with the sacrifices. Anything blood sacrifice, anything food sacrifice is ended here. Now, in this order, if I am given a right of food, where it's not blood involved or there's not blood related. It is in this image. Whomsoever I want to give this food as a living, who has died, and the message come that he's hungry, he wants to eat food. Where he is, he has no food. When such message reach us, it is on this kind of image that we prepare the food offering and take to. There, call his name and offer him the food. Leave the food there. Human being will not eat it. Animal might still not eat it. But over time, the food will not be there. But today, you see people go on the street that they are giving spirit food. They pour it on the street. They pour it in the water. They pour it everywhere. Polluting our environment. The whole road are being polluted. No! They are only following the symbols and have neglected the right principles that carries the power for which that thing was made. This is the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. So if you have such sacrifice or peace offering, such offering to offer, you don't need to go and litter the road. There is an imagery prepared for such. Go there and you will receive it. Whatsoever thing you did it for, will receive it. But those authorities, we have lost contact of them. So we now do according to the witchcraft. Because all those things you see on the road are all man-made witchcraft authorities. They teach you another way and now live the way of your salvation. If you want to give your father where die food, you go for food. You know, if you want to give spirit, you go for food. No, that's when the road be in your house. There are some work that are not in the scriptural directives. These are witchcrafts. That is why I taught you all those craftiness and their isms before I now landed on this to conclude anything that has to do with imagery and sacrifices in our culture. So we are not an idol. We don't worship idol. At any time we come out in our business, we do what the Lord has commanded. We do not do our own. We don't practice witchcraft. We don't practice any form of demonism. We practice that which the Father has revealed for the salvation of mankind. That is who we are. I wish you well. Subscribe to our channel. Follow our links. Help us to know where we need to serve you better. For you who have asked me a question on this baptism for the dead that triggered this lecture, I appreciate you. God will bless you and give you more wisdom to ask me more questions that will trigger more other lectures for those who wants to know. It might look boring, but then that is where the message comes today. There is baptism for the dead in our culture, but it's not the way it is done in the English culture that it is done in our culture. I know these things to be truth, and I teach them to you in the name of the Father, AMADIOHA, in the name of the Son, KAMANU, and in the name of the Spirit, Amen.